Hello and welcome to Soul Guidance with Adriana. I'm an intuitive reader and a soul communicator. Today I have an intuitive message and we're just going to use the animal oracle cards, I believe, at first. So feeling really drawn to do this for someone. Okay, messages for the soul, please. You know, I want to say, even before we get into the meaning of these cards, you're doing the right thing. You're doing the right thing. Okay? We've got a couple watery things, but also the leadership, the elephant showing up. So elephant on one side, orca in the middle, song lines, and dolphin, happiness on the other side of that. So everything kind of coming into the middle. We're looking at really going deep to healing that very vulnerable feminine part of yourself. You may see that part of yourself as the inner child, but we have so many maternal themes going on here. We've got a child, orcas, which are very female oriented. We've also got the dolphin and a pregnant goddess on the back of the dolphin. So it's like, you know what I feel I'm looking at is the rebirth of the inner child. And that when that inner child is reborn, you can start to tell a different story. So let me back up. Usually the stories that we tell from our wounds and from the things that make us upset, the habitual patterns that we see with other people, the way that we find ourselves self-sabotaging or not really thriving in relationships all leads back to that inner child that was hurt, that did not really, it wasn't nourished properly in your childhood. But what I feel like you're being asked to do right now is, I don't like saying this, but it's almost as if you're being asked to let that inner child die. You're being asked to let that inner child go so that you can give birth to a happier, healthier inner child. That you can actually create a different inner child. This is a very strange message. But the reason for that is because of this card. You're being asked to go through a doorway. I know it says leadership on here, but this is Ganesh, and Ganesh is the god of doorways. He protects the entrances and exits into homes and into other states of reality. And when we think of the death card in the tarot, we're also thinking about doors opening. And so the death of that inner child, it's not literally like you're killing off part of yourself, but it's more like the death of those inner child stories. This is song lines, the song that you sing. And if you can allow those stories from the inner child to just kind of fade off into to become an anachronism, to be something that's out of date, that's not relevant anymore, then you have the chance to birth, knowing what you know, birth yourself again from this place of wholeness and happiness. So it's really interesting. It's like we go all the way down to the depths, and where do we bury things? We bury them deep in the earth. So once we bury that, we come back up to the surface, and we have these joyful dolphins jumping over the surface. And what comes back up is this cosmic leader. Not only there's a double meaning in this card, right? We've got the Ganesh, the doors, but we've also got leadership. If it's your time to show up, this is your time to show up. And what has been preventing you from showing up as a leader, as a spiritual or cosmic leader, is that wounded inner child. It's really almost that simple. What has been preventing you from showing up in your full power and light is that wounded inner child. So what we need to do is shift the story. Give me any advice on how. You know what? I'm going to trust that you know how to do this. And I'm just going to pull out some more messages for you. If you don't know how to do this, that's another conversation. Um, but let's just do another message and see what comes out for you. Okay, Sacred Ibis. Haha, look, a door. Sacred Ibis, the turtle, good sign, the jaguar, release, and the raven, another. Wow. I'm so excited that we're doing this reading. I just love the visuals. Okay, we've got the door, we've got the sea turtle flowing to that door, the jaguar releasing, and then this portal opening over here. So do you see how this door actually opens this door? The light is shining through both of them. Okay, so let's pick this apart a little bit. So what I feel is we're looking for this energy to happen, that the door opens for you and then you can start to speak that new truth out of your throat chakra. You can start to access different worlds because of the different stories that you're telling. And actually, now that I'm remembering, in the book, this card talks about be careful of the stories you listen to and be careful of the stories you're telling. Watch your words. But what we're looking for is the total release. And again, we have the image of giving birth happening here, birthing a healthier version of yourself by releasing everything that is toxic that you have been holding in. Toxic ideas about yourself, toxic beliefs about yourself, toxic people that reinforce these beliefs. And that's really important. Toxic people that reinforce these beliefs. It's not enough just to get rid of toxic people if you're holding on to the beliefs. And it's not enough just to get rid of your own toxic beliefs if you're also connected to toxic people. They're going hand in hand. You have to release both. It's a total release. You don't just get to give birth to the baby and keep the placenta for yourself. You have to release all of it. And sorry to get a little, clinical or gory there, but it's that deep. I'm also noticing there's a really interesting marking over the jaguar's left eye. I don't know if you can see it. It's like a line that's coming down. So again, we're looking, it's almost like a scar, actually. Just kind of got them on both, but on the left side, it goes right through the eye. So this is healing the way, it's again that feminine side, so this energy that has been hurt and needing to heal, but understanding that it has really skewed your perception of what reality is. So there is a healing of reality, of your perception that needs to happen. And that's what we see in this turtle card. The healing, the being nurtured and protected and being moved along on this journey. I love these two cards coming out for you because there's these feminine animals that are of the sea that are just so protective. They're just so protective and nurturing of their young. And I feel like on this journey, you are being protected and nurtured as you are in this very vulnerable position of needing to release. So keeping that in mind. Once you're through that passage, we're into this. The sacred ibis is really acknowledging that your learning process has been sacred. But beyond that, it's like there's this extra, again, that cosmic idea coming through with both of these cards. There's an extra layer of wisdom. This is card number 22, which is the spiritual builder card. So if you're life path 22, this would be your card. What's behind those doors? What's behind those doors is the true knowledge of yourself as you are, a whole, loving, integrated being with an intact inner child. That is the truth of the leader that's being asked to come forward. So it's like, what's behind door number 1? Ta-da! This leadership card, the power and the confidence that you are leading in the way you need to be leading. It's the power and the confidence that you are seeing reality. I don't want to say correctly because that sounds like a judgment. It's like trust the reality that you're seeing. Once you have released this toxic energy and you've healed that scar over the left eye, Trust what you're seeing, trust the reality you're seeing, and trust the solutions that are coming up to you, and trust the way forward that is coming up to you. And then we have this raven, which is the ability to use this information to walk into other worlds. And other worlds can mean, you know, other people's worlds, other worlds in different dimensions. But mostly I'm seeing light out of shadow, the ability to walk into the light instead of holding on to the shadow and not wanting to come out. You see how exhausted she is? Instead of holding on to that shadow and not wanting to come out, this is full knowledge of the light through the shadow. Having been through the shadow, you now know the light. Having been through the shadow, it is now appropriate to be able to recreate or rebirth your inner child, to speak in a way that is more consistent and more supportive of the you that really is. Okay, let's do one. Yeah, it's interesting. I'm being compelled to do an extended reading, which I was not planning to do for this, because quite frankly, I wasn't sure how this was going to go. But we're going to pull out one more card and then kind of dovetail into the extended. So if you'd like to follow me over there, the link is in the description below. It's available to rent for $4.44, $4.44, and for as long as you like. Okay, bottom two, seahorse and the moderation. Okay, rhinoceros and seahorse. This is calling on you to use very appropriate discernment in your relationships, in your one-on-one interactions with people. The rhinoceros's horn is not a true horn, it's actually cartilage. Maybe I'm getting this wrong, but it's not really a nose. It's actually, it's kind of a false horn. So this is a double message of discernment. Make sure you're seeing very clearly what's going on in your relationships around you, and be sure that your fear is not allowing you to form conclusions that are not right. So your fear may be skewing your perspective a little bit, and again, causing you to process the situations through the scarred left eye, that scarred feminine side, rather than the truth of the objective, I want to say masculine side. Okay, I feel like there's more energy to unpick here, but we're going to look at this in the extended. So if you'd like to follow me over there, again, the link's in the description below, and I'll see you soon.